Welcome to The Ring and All Other Sports. My name is Leo Connors. I'm your host, and tonight I got a very special guest making his second appearance. One half of the Chaotic Wrestling Tag Team Champions of Killanova Inc., Royce Bishop. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Pleasure being here.
Yeah, great. We have a lot of fan questions today.
Nice.
So let's just jump right into that because you've been here before. Arman Mirza. Mm-hmm. Okay, I want to make sure I said his name right. If the right opportunity presented itself, would you give up your current career and time with family to wrestle full-time and be on the road most of the year?
I think it would be a dream to wrestle full-time.
Right.
My career is something that I'm a business owner, so It's not really giving it up. It's just running my business differently. My business partners can definitely handle the workload if I had to take a step back to chase wrestling. So it's definitely possible. If that opportunity presented itself, I need to talk to my wife about it.
Right, of course.
Outside from talking to her, my business isn't going to slow me down on the wrestling side of things.
Nice. And you sent me these questions. Trisha Cheney? Mm-hmm. She wants to know, how did you guys come up with the name Killanova Inc.?
So for everyone that's a fan of Killanova, they know it was well established before I came into the group. However that came to be, I've heard different stories. But mainly, Christian went through a change. He went from doing his Michael Jackson thing into basically the top talent and who he is now. And they brought in Triplicious and they had Mistress Belmont there at the time, and then Josh Briggs. And that was like that first incarnation that they built. So I was always told it was maybe the inspiration was like a record label kind of thing. And then obviously the Killanova name being a play off of Christian's, the Casanova name, going heel, that kind of thing. When I joined the group, we established the Killanova culture. Little different, we wanted to differentiate, like me joining the group and then obviously bringing Tasha in. We wanted to differentiate that from the original, incarnation of the group. So the way that actually came about was the night that I joined the group. We attacked JT Dunn at the end of the night, and me and Christian had spoke right before we were going to go out, and he said, we're going to do this, and then I'm going to get on the mic, and we're going to establish like us as a new group officially. And I said, go out there and tell them we're changing the culture of chaotic wrestling. And then it just took off from there. And it's just been something that, we just been trying to make it bigger than wrestling. It's deeper than that. So that's what it eventually developed into.
And I'm going to ask Trisha's second question, but then I want to go back about something you just mentioned. What got you into wrestling?
It depends. If I look at like when I was a kid and growing up in the Attitude Era, like diehard fan, always wanted to be a wrestler. And I never knew where to go. I didn't know anything about the indies. I didn't know that stuff existed. So it wasn't until, I got to like my mid-20s where I met Adult from Chaotic, former owner of Chaotic Wrestling.
Great guy.
I met him when I was working at Paul's TV, the TV store inside Jordan's Furniture. I met him. He came in to buy a TV with his dad, and he had a Chaotic Wrestling jacket on. And I was like, what's that all about? I've heard of it. Like, I'm familiar with it. I'm familiar with Killer Kowalski's school. Like, I know you guys have something, but again, I never actually took the initiative to go look, which I probably should have. But it kind of just fell in my lap. It was like destiny. I met him, and he told me all about it. And within the next week, like I went and I sent an email to Brian Fury, and I just showed up at the school and got into it at that point. So it was like I was at a crossroads in my life on what I wanted to do. I had just stopped my music career. Had been focusing more on like the family side of things and career-wise. And then it just fell in my lap, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go give this a shot now.
That's awesome. I've known Mark for years. We used to work together.
Great guy.
Great guy. All right, what I wanted to bring up was, when you were here last time, the day before, we did a special Sunday one, and Triplicious and Christian was here. And I asked them a question if they were going to bring in a girl or anything. And they said they had someone in mind. Was it? Did it end?
It was always Tasha Steelz.
Nice.
Since
Okay.
day one, it's always been her.
Right.
You know, as soon as she came into Chaotic, they already knew she fit the group.
Right,
Like,
right.
she had the look. We all have good relationships with her outside.
Yep.
You know, there's friendship between the four of us outside of wrestling
Yeah.
anyway. So we all get along. We fit together really well. So it's just, that was always the goal.
Right.
You know, we were always in her ear trying to get her to,
That's
you
awesome.
know, she was a baby face at the time too, and we're like,
Right.
come on, leave that behind, you know, like you got to come do this. Like we're what's hot right now.
Right.
We're cool. Like she,
Yep.
and I always told her, like, you know, you're too cool for that. You know, you got to come join us. So, yep,
I was there that night.
and it took a little while, you know, since they did that interview between when she joined. It was
a few months.
You know,
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was great. Me and Dan were there. We were popping huge.
She was always the first choice.
Nice. Next question is from Dan. Dan Bolia wants to know, are there any plans to create individual theme music for each other, each member, of Killanova Inc. for the culture?
We've never talked about it.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Right.
Like even when Tasha joined, she dropped her, you know, individual music, and
Right,
she uses ours. So the culture's a movement. It's
Yep.
you know, it's all of us. You know,
Okay.
I feel like although we're all great at our individual things, we move better as a unit. So
Right.
I think the moment we start looking at trying to be too much of an individual,
Yeah.
that's when we tend to fall apart. So
Okay.
I think we're just focused on being a cohesive group.
Right. And you guys are great together. Jared Doomling wants to know, who is or was your favorite faction in wrestling besides Killanova Inc., of course? Again, for the culture. They're all adding in there after their questions.
I love it. FTC.
Jared's a good guy.
Yeah, I like Jared a lot. It's for me. There's nobody even close to second. Like number one for me is D-Generation X.
Okay.
Like they're so far above everyone.
Right.
Both incarnations of the group.
Yep.
At the beginning, obviously, like later on when Triple H and Shawn were older and they reformed.
Yeah.
It was good. It was
Right.
different, but I mean that first incarnation, with them two in China and Rick Rude was just. I was 12 years old. I was 10 when they started, and like 12, 13 when the second group formed over that 4-year
Right.
span there.
With
And-
the Road Dogg and
that's my wheelhouse of like when I was my fandom was at its highest. I was a fanatic. So you figure like preteen and the stuff that they were doing, like that was exciting. I'm one of those proud. I'm a proud member of the kids that got suspended for doing a crotch chop in school.
A lot of kids got
I'm
suspended for
definitely
that.
one of those kids. I was there.
That's funny. Jared, just so you know real quick, I just want to let you know my favorite faction on the indies for years was Special K for Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. Now it's you guys.
Yep.
But
I appreciate it.
I still like watching those guys wrestle and stuff. Anthony Miller. Squeaks. What's up, buddy? Favorite rapper?
Tupac Shakur.
All right.
Got him tattooed on me.
Nice. That's
Greatest
a nice
ever.
tat, man.
Thank you.
All right, Jerry. I'm not happy with this question, buddy. Jerry Lane.
I caught a glimpse of this question.
I love you, Jerry, but when are you going to turn your back on the culture to break out on your own? Jerry, come on now.
It just seems like he's just not a fan of the culture.
I guess not. Well, he's old.
He's not.
I'm just messing with you, Jerry.
I like Jerry.
Me too.
Like I said, we're a cohesive unit.
Right.
Like we move well as a team.
Yeah.
I'm not any bigger than that.
Right.
Could I do solo stuff? That'd be cool. I do it at some shows,
Right.
but I'm really enjoying what we're doing now.
Right.
And I think it's helping me grow more as a performer as well.
Yep.
Having those guys with me and girls.
Nice. Well, me and Dan talk about it, like how we would love to see, like in the next step, I would personally love to see you guys go together. Like, let's say it was Ring of Honor or MLW or something like that, TV. I don't want to see just one of you go. I'd love to see us all go together because I think it would be great.
Appreciate that.
Dan Boley has another question. What do you feel has been, excuse me, your greatest accomplishment in wrestling so far? I knew that.
That tag team belt right
See
there.
that, guys?
Took that off of Bear Country, and those
Yeah.
those boys are hot right now. I mean, they're
boys,
everywhere.
too.
I see them everywhere. Oh yeah, I don't even want to get started on their size. Like
Beefcakes.
I mean, I'm a fairly decent sized guy, and like when I'm next to Beefcake, like he dwarfs me. And you know, we had a nice little altercation at our last show, and you know, the more he leaned on me, like the more he wore me out. I was like, oh my gosh, like this guy, he drains the energy out of me. But you know, I'm looking forward to getting back in the ring with them at Summer Chaos, and you know, they thought we won the belts by cheating, so you know, we'll get our second shot at them and we'll show them.
I will say Bear Bronson had a great match yesterday at AG show against Simon Grimm. And I honestly, Simon Grimm never did anything for me, even when he was in the WWE. Wow, man, I watched him live yesterday, and he's
a good worker.
He was really
good worker.
It was a great match. All right. Also, Dan wants to know, Killanova has the best theme music in New England. However, if you could pick one rapper, dead or alive, to make like your new theme music, who would it be?
It's tough for me too because I made the theme music for Killanova, so it's like me going against myself, right? So I guess to be humble and take myself out of that equation, obviously Tupac being my favorite rapper, that's big. I just saw some highlights that Big Cass came out to Hail Mary, Tupac song at both the NEW shows, or all three of them. So I thought that was cool, like seeing him come out to that, I'm like, wow, I could come out to that. So definitely Tupac. If it was someone who's alive, maybe someone like Rick Ross. He has very heavy, like heavy bass on his song, something that's like more my tempo, you know. You growing up watching WWE and Jim Johnston and how he would make music that could, you know, really fit the character, like it fits their walk, and so
he still does that now, right?
Yeah,
he's still working.
I think he does.
Yeah, nice. All right, Jesse Martineau wants to know. He has a couple questions. Killanova easily has the best entrance music in indie wrestling.
You guys are great.
I listen to it all the time at work. Who do you think has the second best? Good question.
In the indies?
Yeah. Or anything, even. You can do indies or even WWE.
Oh, man, it's tough. I was just listening to Brian Malonis' podcast.
I heard that today.
Yeah, and I
Sonny
think
was on.
I think the one from 2 weeks ago, they were talking about best theme musics ever. So it's kind of cool that this question came up. Indies, I don't know. There's so much different stuff out there. I love what AG does, you know, and his music fits the character so well. It's not that it's my favorite song. It's definitely far from my favorite song, but because it fits him so well, you know, it gets me into it. Ava Everett comes out to the All That theme song. I mean, that's nostalgia for me. That's my childhood. So, like, those are cool to hear. As far as like today, I don't know. I don't know, like, today overall, like, WWE, AEW, like, those companies, like, who I really like today. There's a couple good ones. I like when the Bludgeon Brothers were together before they broke up. That theme music was really good. You know, if it was going, like, all time, like, Chris Jericho's theme music was amazing.
Definitely.
You know, I was always a fan of that. It's still disappointing now that he's, you know, when he's not with WWE, and like to watch him come out to something different, it doesn't do it for me. But yeah, he's probably like one of my all-time favorites. The Rock's Hollywood theme. You know, when he came back in like 2003 with the Hollywood theme, I really like that. So, and then I think I made a comment on Twitter of Undertaker's Ministry, when he was with the Ministry, like that. That change and that very heavy sound. Those are probably, like, you know, my top three.
Well, I'm in my mid-50s, so I like CJ Cruz's entrance song. You know, it's
a little nostalgic.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Of course.
He did a great job yesterday too, as a matter of fact. All right. Who is the biggest basic in all indie wrestling? Jesse, you might have just put yourself near the top of the list.
Man. I mean, as of right now, it's Anthony Green. You know, he got my boy's title, so we got to go back and take that from him and the Bears, and really anyone who's getting in our way on the indie scene that's going to stop us from hitting the next level. I mean, they're basics to us.
All right. Nathan Fuller, who was on here a couple weeks ago. Who is your favorite New England indie wrestler of all time? And I know you said you got started late, but I mean, now that you're in it, you pretty much know.
Oh yeah, and I've definitely I've gone back and I've done my homework on a lot of guys too. I got into it a lot more once I got into the scene. I guess it would be biased to say Christian, right? And it being an all-time thing. But I'm really going to show my biasness, and it's Brian Fury. You know, as a mentor, as a teacher, I see him in a different light.
Right.
But even, I was really starting to sink my teeth into wrestling when he came back from his ankle injury.
Right.
And I felt like he was at the top of his game at that point.
Yeah.
Cerebralness, how vicious he could be in the ring, his intensity as a heel is,
Yeah.
I always tell him like there's no reason why he shouldn't be signed now.
Right.
Never mind then when he was at the top of his game. So I'd say he's probably my favorite all time. And if I went back to watch anyone in the Indies, I'd be on YouTube looking him up.
Nice. And I've watched Brian since he first started, man.
Yep.
It's like,
I've seen some of the old pictures you guys have posted.
I mean, they had the little Bengal trunks and everything. Him and Maverick Wild, I loved watching those guys wrestle. A lot of other people too, don't get me wrong, but those two are at the top of my list. Jared Doomling has another question. How did you come up with the name Royce Bishop? Or did someone else come up with it? I just want to.
Yep. I think I originally told the story the first time I was here where, playing off of my own name, Anthony, what we were going for was Tony Breeze, and that was like our original thing.
You did say that, yeah.
And then Tyler Breeze had just hit the scene on NXT, within months of me coming up with that name and starting to work on that character. So as I was searching for names and I was writing down names, pairing them up, saying them, Royce Bishop came up from, I separated. Everyone is more recently over the years has been using real names or something that comes out like a real name, two names instead of just the one.
Yep.
So for me, it was Bishop was first. That was the first thing I came up with based off of Tupac's character in the movie Juice.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to be a heel, and I watched that movie, and he's like the ultimate bad guy in the movie. Like doesn't care about. He kills one of his own friends and turns on this whole group, and he's crazy. And I'm like, okay, like that is that's someone that I can sink my teeth into and use him for. Like my own character development. And then the name Royce came from, one, I thought it sounded cool. Yeah. And two, I was thinking Rolls Royce. So with my tattoos, with money, having dollar signs on me, and where my character's based, the Welcome to the Trap House stuff, and Ellen Chufe and the Plug, and kind of the references that we make. And being like revolves around money, I'm like, well, a Rolls Royce, it doesn't get that much more, prestigious than that, unless I was going to call myself like Bugatti Bishop or something. And that wasn't going to happen. So that name just kind of fell together, putting those two together, and then I started feeling like it just had a good ring to it. Right. And then we just, we play off of the Bishop stuff, Brinks Truck Bishop, Broadway Bishop, we just kind of play off the last name now more than anything.
Nice. All right. Let's see. Jay Suma hit me up privately too and said, make sure I ask your questions. Love you, Jay. How does it feel to be one half of the Chaotic Wrestling Tag Team Champs?
It feels amazing. Honestly, when we won them, I was, it was like an all-time high for me. Right. It was like, this is the first title I've won in professional wrestling. Nice. And it happens to be one of the most prestigious tag team titles in all of indie wrestling, and definitely in the Northeast. Yep. The teams that have held, these belts prior to me, it's just, it's all-time high. Still on it, and like we're ready to defend them against anybody who wants to come through. We want to put on the best quality tag matches we can. Yep. Me and Triplicious, I think we work more and more cohesive as a unit every time we're in the ring together. Right. We come up with more and more stuff together. So, I guess the only downside to it is I wish we could do a little free bird rule on it, and I can get Christian to jump in there, and hell, I'd even get Tasha in there to tag with me. I think we could have some fun too. Nice.
And Jay has one more thing. And Jay, I'm just going to tell you this. I think you are, because I asked it, and I was told I was. Do you think he's basic?
Oh.
Even though he does help you guys out.
He does. I see him. Like he guards our merch table for us, make sure no one's stealing anything. I like Jay, and he's he's down for the culture. So
yes, he is.
It's really basic to ask if you're a basic.
That's what happened to me.
I'm gonna give him the pass on it just because of how much he supports us.
Yes, so. And like you said, he's always at your table helping you out.
Yeah, he's a good
great guy. All right. What other fan questions are done? What other you worked for APW before
I have,
far,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
And Lucky Pro.
I've worked Lucky Pro, yeah.
And any other companies besides that?
I've done Liberty States.
Okay.
Let's Wrestle up in Maine.
Yep.
I've done PvP out in Western Mass.
Pioneer Valley?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I've done Western Mass Wrestling.
Oh, that's the new company.
Yep.
That's all.
I'll be
Nice.
there this weekend, actually,
cool.
this Sunday versus Nick Delta. Trigger will be out there with us, and Casanova's going for their heavyweight title out there, too.
Oh, wow.
So we'll have the whole crew out there.
Yeah.
Probably taking over there, too. I mean, wherever we go, it's
Right.
for the culture, by the culture. So
Yeah,
we're trying to take over.
I heard they're doing pretty good though, the Western Mass. It's only like maybe the third or fourth show. Is it about that?
I think it's it's third or fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would think I was on the first one, and the second one I wasn't. Yeah, this might be the third.
Yeah, because I guess I had on here just recently Aaron Morrison. I guess he had done some wrestling
Yep.
for him too.
Yep.
Great guy.
And then I'll be the end of September. I'll be out in Brooklyn for Battle Club Pro. The whole Killanova team will
nice.
be out there. I'm going to be in a big four-way out there. So that should
you already know
that
who
should
your
be good.
opponents are?
Not 100% sure
Yeah.
everyone that's in it. I know Harlow's in it. And I think she's bringing some help. So it's we're going to go out there and support Tasha and
Right.
make sure we get her
Nice.
belt back.
Yep. I got to ask you this. Like you're going up to. You said that show's in New York.
Yep.
Right now, the king of wrestling in New York is Homicide. Have you met Homicide yet?
I haven't. It's funny because Brian Fury tells me some stories about him because they have a good texting relationship.
Yeah.
And
I've known him for years, so long.
yeah,
Great guy.
Oh my gosh, to get involved with him and I mean really like the whole and Conan and like all those
Yeah.
guys. Oh my gosh, like. I mean, those guys are legends
Yeah.
already. So it's like
Yep.
to be able to even work a program with any of them would be amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, he's just celebrated 25 years.
Yeah.
And at first when I saw it, I thought he was retiring. I'm like, wow, he's going to retire. But nope, he's just still plugging along. And he's trained so many guys
yeah.
out there. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
honestly, anybody that's really good, other than like people that are going to like Creative Pro and stuff, guys that have been wrestling for 15 years or more or a little less, were pretty much all trained
Yeah.
by Homicide and stuff. So really cool. When was the last show you worked for APW?
It's been a while. May, right in May. I was supposed to do something in June, and we got rained out.
Okay.
And that was the last time. So yeah, May was. I heard they just had a big show.
Yes, Saturday night.
yeah.
Yes, Saturday night.
Yeah, I
This
heard that-
was
I heard that
good.
was a
The
really
main
big show.
event was unreal. AG.
Yep.
Another,
Yeah,
another title,
took the
another
title.
win.
Jeez, this guy.
Yeah, unreal, huh? Now, who did you wrestle that night? Do you remember?
I think it might have been a big Survivor. It might have been like a Survivor Series
Oh, okay.
style match. I think it was like a 5-on-5 match.
All right. Was
pretty
Venom a
positive.
part of that? Like Stiff Mike and Kevin Giles? I think
Stiff
I
Mike
read-
was part of that.
Yeah.
He was on the other side.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. We got a bunch of
They
names.
all blend together.
Why don't we play the name game?
Oh, I'm all for it.
All right. Usually I'm not going to start right from the top because we already talked about AG a little bit. But how about the Platinum Honeys?
I mean, if you're at anybody saw the last Chaotic show, we kind of tossed them around a little bit.
I
Felt
heard
a
I
little
wasn't
guilty,
there,
but
unfortunately.
yeah, I mean, they both took our finish, nice powerbomb neck breaker.
Yeah.
And poor Angel Sinclair, she took that with a frog splash from Christian at the same time. So
I saw that.
I think her first day walking again was at the
Really?
APW show the other day. So I know we banged her up a little
Right.
bit. She was sore.
I mean, they haven't been around for a while, and they really seem to be picking it up.
They are.
Good. I mean, honestly.
I see Ava Everett at she's in class all the time.
Nice.
She's always trying to learn. Her relationship with AG obviously helps her so
Of
much
course.
with him being able to teach her psychology,
Yep.
go over stuff with her. So she's she has a mind for the business. She's
Right.
definitely I'm proud to see her growth, and I enjoy sharing the ring with her. So,
Right.
We had a little moment outside the ring after the match was over. I said some things to her, but I'm always happy to be anywhere on a show with her. You
Yeah.
know, she's a very genuine person.
And it's great to see Angel doing good. You breaking out wrestling
Yeah,
different
no,
places.
she's
They're
everywhere.
really
She's everywhere.
doing
I
good.
like that they can do things separately too.
Yeah.
Although the Platinum Honeys is a cool thing, I like to see them on their own and what they can do as well. They're not, not being tied together. That's always tough being
Yeah.
tied to one person. It's
Right.
nice to be able to try to get out and do your own thing too.
Yep.
So
Awesome. How about We already talked about Bear Country. How about the Mill City Hooligans? I know you guys have had issues with those guys for a while.
We always do.
Yep.
I don't think it's ever going to stop at this point. They feel like they're the greatest faction in chaotic history, and we feel the same. Although we took a loss, at Cold Fury, I still feel like we're always going to feel that way. We're a confident group.
That was a match.
As far as workers,
I
appreciate that.
It was.
I took a double stuffed cradle to the grave pile driver. So yeah, my night didn't go well, but. As far as like workers go, like the Logans are again another group that shouldn't be around here anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have been signed, gone. I don't know their like personal story as to why
I
they
guess
never
they
were.
don't really. They didn't ever pursue it. They were happy with what they were doing, is what Chase told me.
They're perfect. I mean, they're just. I watch them like. How well they work together, it's crazy. Obviously, they've been doing it so long. They know each other like the back of their hand. And Chase is great. Like me and Chase, if anyone sees us on social media, that we poke at each other all day long. He always gives me a hard time. I give it to him right back. Sometimes I feel like he's hunting for me, like he's waiting for me to post something so he could go jump on it and talk some trash. I think he takes any opportunity and any opening to talk some trash to me. But hey, I appreciate it. It's all in good nature and good fun. So, but like all three of those guys are they're legends in this area.
Absolutely, and it's wild because Chase isn't from Lowell originally. You know what I mean? But like. They're like brothers now. They've been together for so long. It's like they're brothers.
He's an adopted son to Lowell at this point.
I used to tease him and be like, you're not from Lowell. I'm from Lowell. I used to love to yell that at him. How about Mr. Marketable, Richard Holiday?
Oh man, I saw recently he's been at Beyond Wrestling with Christian.
Yeah.
And they look pretty good together.
Right.
I mean, not as good as me and him look together, but hey, I mean, if he wants to take my place there, that's cool. Overall, the guy got a great look.
Yeah.
He's good on the mic. His gimmick's great.
Yeah, it is.
The whole marketable approach and the promos that he can do with that. I mean, he's great. I'm a fan. I'm definitely a fan.
Me too. And I think I wasn't there, but I think he's got a buddy now.
You got a couple.
Elijah, right, is one. Who else is with him?
Evan Walbridge is, I don't know who Ilya Markopoulos is, but Evan Walbridge, he doesn't say much, but I like him.
Yeah?
I like him. And I think the other one is Tyler Cintron, I think is with him.
Okay.
I think it is. They're cool. I like their little faction.
Right.
I mean, maybe we'll get to tussle with them a little bit, them three versus us three. But the marketing department, it's cool.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's great.
I think it comes together well. It makes sense, and I'm all for factions.
Yeah.
I love it being part of one. And then, as a kid growing up, there was so many stables. I mean,
unbelievable.
So to see like more stables get built on the indies, it's cool. It's cool to see what there's so many things you can do between singles matches, group matches, tag matches. You can do so much with it.
Nice. I'm going to bring up a guy that hasn't been around for a while, Mikey Webb.
I haven't seen Mikey Webb in years. When I first started training, my first stint training, he had been coming up as probably like one of the top students in the school, and he was starting to get recognized a lot. What I know most about Mikey Webb is he's brokered a really good relationship with like the Monster Factory and the guys down there, which has opened us an opportunity to go down there as well.
Because I know Josh was going down there with Mikey.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I mean. I hear people call him Mike Webb. It's so weird to me because he's always been Mikey to me.
Oh, same here.
I can remember working security at chaotic shows and the crowd reactions he would get as a babyface, coming out with that, those tassels on. It was just, I don't know, tassels get you the chairs.
Yeah. I miss seeing him wrestle, man.
Yeah.
It's like he was back around again and then boom, he was gone. Mikey, come back, will you? I just brought his name up, Josh Briggs.
Josh is, talk about a guy who just has a mind for the business and picked it up quick.
Right.
I want to say from when I started training to when he started training, he probably started training a couple years after me, right around the time I left. And by the time I came back, I took 2.5 years off. And so he was probably like 2 years in the business when I came back, and he was already having 5-star matches.
Oh, yeah.
And he was already getting noticed on the indies. Super athletic for his size. He's good. He's really good. Only a matter of time. Now that now that Austin Theory is headed to NXT, I mean, Josh, has to be the next guy up at Evolve.
Yeah, I would think
which,
so.
again, from there, I can't see why he wouldn't be in NXT.
Right.
Pretty soon after that.
Yeah, no, he's amazing. Great.
I enjoy
guy.
sharing the locker room with him, and I enjoy like just seeing him if he's ever at class. Like I pick his brain anytime I can.
Right.
Being like him being bigger than me, but me being able to ask his advice. I used to do the same thing with Dijak before he left. Always picking their brain. Just big guys that like. Any information I can get from them to help me grow and get better, I want to take it.
And Josh had a great match yesterday too.
Yeah,
against Johnny Silver. And what a contrast.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like so big, and then Johnny so short, so strong.
Yeah, that guy can go.
That match
Silver
was incredible. Could have been match of the night, but I think the main event actually was. But it was pretty close. How about a guy who's not that big either, but he can kill you with this finishing maneuver, death by elbow, JT Dunn.
JT is, in his own mind, he's the best unsigned wrestler on the planet. He could be. Yeah. Like I'm
definitely.
I'm not taking anything away from JT. JT's great. I've shared the ring with him a couple times.
Yep.
A couple times like where I was on the outside, and then a couple times during matches. I plan on working with him in the future. Like I have to. Like I know. Like I have to. It's going to make me a better performer working with him. He's someone that he can make anyone look great. So I'm just I'm a fan in general. We have some fun. Anytime we get a chance to like cut a promo on each other, we have some fun with those. We've done a few of them and they've been fun.
Nice. Him and Christian have good chemistry when they have their matches too.
Yeah,
really.
I mean
they really do.
I mean they're just tied together at this point. I mean they just tag team together against Darby Allin and John Moxley at NEW. Yep. And I heard they had a great match.
Great. I'm gonna go backpedal because I skipped over him, but Ilya Markopoulos.
Ilya's great. He's it's totally cool.
I was saying it wrong.
I'm sure he wouldn't care. One of the coolest dudes around.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, sometimes I feel like I'm going to him for advice as like a dad, and I'm like 10 years older than him.
But he's always there for you guys, huh?
He is like, he's just been in it so long.
Right.
He's been through so many different things that, he's just someone that's just cool. Like I don't even like to bother him about wrestling stuff. Just talk to him as like another dude because I mean, again, he's been around for so long. Like he's a vet. We always have the joke that he's a grizzled vet. At, in his mid-20s. But when you've been around since you're 13 years old, like
kind of like AG. I mean, I remember seeing AG at shows when he was just a fan and he was not telling people he was going to be a wrestler. And I'm like, that's cool, but I've known him like not like friendly, like friends, but. It's amazing how he went from the small, chubby kid that would tell everybody he was going to be a wrestler to the young referee to in the ring. And look at him now. I mean, honestly,
he's a perfect example of someone who just, he followed his dream from day one. So,
And
he deserves everything he gets.
And you guys are at the best school. I mean, there's a lot of great schools, and there really is, but the New England Pro Wrestling Academy is the top school.
I tell everyone that the track record speaks for itself. And again, we're saying that as humble as possible. It doesn't mean that I'm any better than anybody else that comes from another school or anything like that. But just pride in where we come from. You know, we're proud to say like we're from Nepois, and we look for that. That stamp from Brian Fury means everything to all of us. Anyone that's ever come out of that school that gets to work shows or is considered a graduate of the school, that stamp of approval from him is that means the world to us.
Nice. And there's a few guys. They got the one-day fantasy camp coming up again.
Yeah.
I should have wrote it down. Do you know the date?
August 31st.
Nice. And that's a Saturday?
Saturday, yep.
And it goes for like 5 hours or something like that?
Yeah, we usually go like 10 to 2, 10 to 3-ish, little break for lunch in between.
Nice.
We have, it's a good time.
That's good.
I've been to a few of them sometimes, if I can make it or not, but sometimes I like to go and help out. We see a lot of the same regulars. They'll come in just to try it out and have fun with it. But we've also seen like a lot of people have come, through that school. I mean, that's how Sasha Banks got started.
Biff Busick.
Biff Busick got started the same way.
Free training. They both got free training.
They were the best in the class, and they earned that opportunity. So it's cool. Like if you just want to try it out, see how a bump
That's
feels.
what Dan did. My buddy Dan did.
Yeah.
He tried out.
I tell anybody who says anything about wrestling being fake or anything like that, I say come on down, come take some bumps with us, come run those ropes, and I guarantee you that next day you're gonna have an appreciation for what we do. So if you want to come down and just try it out, and say you did it,
right?
Great. And if you're looking to pursue a career, absolutely, come down.
Brandon Belanger.
Yep.
He did one fantasy camp, and then I think he did a second one, and then signed up.
I've seen him at a couple, and then he signed up. Now he's a
Good
student.
for him, and he's lost, dropped like 30 pounds.
That place will make you do it. If you don't drop weight there, you're going to have a tough time. You have to get in shape there.
I love Brandon. He's a great guy. He's been on this show like 5 or 6 times. Great kid.
Yeah.
How about my cooking show buddy, Sonny Goodspeed?
I love Sonny. I see him at every show. He's just out there, which is so cool because he doesn't have to be.
Right.
And he also doesn't have to give us advice, but he always does. So he's actually normally, like, when I get to the building, he's one of the first people I always run into anywhere I'm at. And then after the show, it's normally one of the first people that I'll go seek out and say, Sonny, you see anything? Like, what do you got? And he's giving me some really good advice that I've taken into account and done a few things. So
nice.
I love seeing him at shows.
Yeah, me too. He's great. I've known him for a long time. We didn't start hanging out really until he came on here for the first time a little over a year ago.
Yep.
And then we got the cooking show, and I love going to shows with him. He's so much fun.
Yep.
I don't know if he's around you much, but I think he does his podcast there sometimes. Mike Crockett.
Yeah, me and Crockett, we have never, we always cross paths a little bit, but we've never had, I don't know if he knows much about me, and I don't know how much he keeps up with any of the product anymore that's out there. I know from listening to his podcast, he doesn't keep up with WWE products, so I doubt he pays that much attention to the indies and what's going on too. But when I first started training before I took my hiatus, he was senior official for Chaotic. I don't know if he was the booker at the time. He might have been done booking. That might have been when Tarzan was booking.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if he was booking with Tarzan, but I know for a fact Tarzan was booking at that time.
Right.
So I had a conversation on Malonis' last podcast when I was a guest on it, talking about Tarzan was ready to start booking me and stuff because of my size. Yeah. But me and Crockett have never. I enjoy listening to his podcast, but we never really get a chance to talk. Sometimes he'll come around, but he'll come by the school and stuff. But never. We're always busy doing something in the ring that we never get a chance to just stop and talk to each other.
Right. So you said you listened to it today, right?
I haven't listened to the new one. No, I'm like 2 or 3 weeks behind.
Thing, right? That they were talking about a guy that ran a show at the brewery in Lowell the same night Chaotic did.
Oh, really?
And I got to call him because they love it. Yeah. And that kid, his name was John, kept calling me because he seen how much of a fan I was and asking me advice. I'm like, dude, I'm not in the wrestling business, right? But I just want to say this real quick, and I'm going to tell these guys that. He kept saying how on my second show, and I kept telling him, stop.
Get through your first one.
Do the first one. I said, you'll be lucky to get 60 people there. He kept saying, no, I'm going to have 200 people. Dude, they had like 30 people there. Yeah. I was there. Sonny was there.
And 30's pretty solid for a no-name show. And
he had a hard time paying people. Don't forget, I got to the arena and my buddy Jimmy Allen, Trooper Gilmore, was sitting on his truck with the last post. He wasn't until he got paid.
Yep.
He had everything set up except the last post.
Yep.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, especially, that was probably a good amount of years ago, too. So,
oh, yeah?
The indies weren't as hot back then either.
No, they weren't.
Even now you can struggle to put people in a building for the indies, and the indies is as hot as you can get right now.
Yep.
So imagine then.
Definitely. How about, this guy's got a new gimmick going on. I haven't seen him since he started it. Club Cam Zagami.
Club Cam. I shut down Club Cam the first night it started at Liberty States.
Nice.
Unfortunately for him, he took that L on his debut match as Club Cam. I love the Club Cam thing.
It's different. No one else is doing anything like that.
I don't want to go into detail of how it came about and who helped him out with it and stuff like that. That's his story to tell.
Yeah, I'd love to get him on here to tell.
But it's probably the closest I could see that he's found himself.
Right.
How accurate it is to him as a real person, I don't know.
Right.
But just in general, he owns it. It's very believable for him. He's also, him and Richard Holiday and Christian, them being together at Beyond, is pretty cool.
Definitely.
I think the first time I saw him bring out the little red rope and have a security guard open it so that he could walk out, and I was like, this thing is a hit.
Right.
I'd like to see him at Chaotic do it there.
Yeah.
Chaotic being such a character-driven show, I think he'd do really well there. But yeah, like I really like it.
Chaotic's really his home, anyways, right? I mean, that's always been his home promotion.
Came from the school and everything. Yeah.
Kid's really good. And he won the Young Lions Cup just recently. Last year, right? It was last year?
Yep. And he reinvented his character since then.
Yeah. So
I know I know he must care a lot about wrestling.
Right.
Just because he's put so much into it. You know, he's someone that he devotes a lot of his time and a lot of his money into these characters.
Right.
Whether they hit or miss, whatever. But to put that effort in, a lot of people don't.
Right.
It's nothing against anybody in particular, but there's a lot of people that they don't invest in good gear. They don't invest in going to the gym, actually taking care of themselves or getting better. Some people just get on shows and they stop training. They don't care anymore. So when I see someone like Cam, he still comes to training every now and then, checks in, has no problem getting in the ring with any intermediate, beginner, advanced level, doesn't matter. He'll go in and work, and then, like I said, he invests his time and money into building his character. So I'll always respect that. Anybody that puts that kind of time and effort into it, that's huge.
And he's a young guy, so I know what I was doing when I was his age. I was in the clubs all the time, so he's probably living his
He's really accurate.
How about Brian Milonas? I always talk about Brian because I'm a huge fan of Brian.
Yeah. I was. We had a good moment when he invited me on his podcast, talked to me about my journey in wrestling. I'm a big fan of his podcast. I'm happy to see that he's a mainstay in Ring of Honor now.
Contracted wrestler.
Yeah, long overdue. Him as a tag guy, I mean, it fits well. I never saw him as a tag guy before then.
Right.
Now you see him and fits, Brawler Milonas. Like, it fits really well. We've had a couple run-ins, like, in Chaotic Countdown matches.
Right.
When I joined Killanova, I interfered in that match, hit him with a chair. And we always have these run-ins, but we've never had a match together.
Right.
So he's definitely someone like before he decides to take off and not come back to the Indies, I'd love to have a match with him and work his style. It's, again, it's different. Kind of talking about like we were talking about with Bear Country, like I have to work a different style with those guys. Like when someone's bigger than me, it doesn't happen often. But if they are, like I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna step out of my comfort zone for those.
Cool. How about Mike Verna?
Werner, wicked cool. Wicked cool guy. He looks amazing right now. Like he just I thought he looked good before, but he went and he's shredded now. I wouldn't be surprised if that NXT contract came any day to him. I feel like he got the look for it. He's at that point, and always a real genuine guy. Every time I see him in the locker room, it's always like a big hug and a genuine like, hi, how are you? Not like, hey, I'm forced to do this. So like I feel obligated to do it. He actually wants to come over and say something. So really genuine guy. I like him. He's not a Yankee fan, which is even better. Him being a Mets fan. Although, I wasn't alive when we lost to the Mets, so it doesn't really matter to me. But
my sister got married then. It was the worst day. October 25th, 1986 was the worst day for me until
miserable.
2001 when my baby girl was born on that day.
Wait, that day too?
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep.
But yeah, it's so I always like that. So he, him as a baby face around here, it works. I mean, he can't. If he wanted to be a heel, he gets that ability to say he's a New York guy and throw it in our face. But at the same time, too, him being a baby face, he can just share the hatred for the Yankees.
Right? I'm a big fan. My buddy Dan is a huge fan of Verna, too. How about a guy that's starting to pick it up, DL Hurst? He had a great match yesterday.
DL's everywhere.
Nice to see him back after the injury.
He came back better than ever. However he did that, whether it was, studying tapes or like just thinking of new things he wanted to do, but he came back with his same arsenal and then some. When I've seen him at the school, like I know he's always practicing new stuff, and I like DL. I mean, he's, like I said, he's everywhere. He's someone that if anyone that is coming into the wrestling business and they're looking, how do I get on shows, like, call DL, send him a message, because this guy is on every show imaginable, and he just shows up and he helps,
Right.
and he gets noticed that way.
Yep.
And now he's at the point where I think he's out there so much that his name just holds value, and people will reach out
Right.
to him even more.
Yeah, no, he's definitely very talented. How about a kid that just came back for one match so far? I don't know if he was at the last show, but Brick Mastone.
Brick was one of the one of the first people I started training with. You know,
Okay.
he was part of my training class along with Flip and Christian.
Yeah.
I was sad to see him go. Another really genuine guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what his plans are for the future. I don't know if that was, just an itch he wanted to scratch and get that last one out, or if it gave him enough that he wanted to come back and pursue it with whatever his health issues may be.
Yeah.
If it's a detriment to his health, I don't want to see him come back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But if he could, I'd love to have, Brick he's a genuine guy and he's great to have in a locker
Yeah.
room, and I'd love to see him do more. And Chaotic was doing a lot of good things with him at a time.
Yeah.
He was working a lot of names and, I think he definitely could have did something bigger on the indies. I just don't know how much he has the passion for that or
Right.
if his health would, allow
Yep.
him to do that.
And it was great to see him come back at the counter.
Absolutely.
That was
I was
just so
I was
awesome.
shocked when he was there.
It was funny because Jerry
So what
Lane.
the hell are you doing here?
Yeah, Jerry Lane came up to me and said, "There's going to be a surprise here tonight." I'm like, "Don't tell me," you know.
Yeah, don't
was
blow
great.
it.
You mentioned his name. He's turned heel. The mercenary, Flip Gordon.
I'm looking so forward to seeing him do more heel work.
Yeah.
Because obviously his look. Now that it's funny the difference between him being fresh shaved baby face
Yeah.
versus growing out this thicker beard.
Yeah.
Is just creates a whole different dynamic to his character in general. But his moveset is still a very much a babyface moveset.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how he's able to do that because he's become such a good worker over the last couple of years, working with better wrestlers.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do, and I always enjoy seeing Flip. He's not around as much as he used to be, but
Right.
anytime he's back in town and around, it's always good seeing him.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get him in here. Dave Padula from
Yeah,
Rhode Island.
I watched that
Dave,
episode, yeah.
Dave hooked me up with that. That was great. How about a really good tag team? I'm pretty sure you had matches with them. Mainstay Posse.
Yeah, I think when me and Trips first got together, we had a run with them a few times.
Yeah.
We had a couple tag matches, had a couple singles matches. I had one with Danger Kid. He had one with Aggro. I like them. I like their work. I like to be able to work them more.
Yep.
We've talked about it, anywhere that we can work each other. I like to get up to Limitless and work them. That's
Yeah.
their home base.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure their baby faces up there. So
Oh, yeah.
have us go up there and
Them and Ace.
Yep.
Big time baby faces up there.
hometown, homegrown. So, I like them. I enjoy working with them. I think we have some good chemistry when we talk. It's good stuff.
Yeah, they're definitely a talented tag team. I'm not sure if you probably know the guys, but American Made up at APW.
Yep. Yeah, I saw they were just working Nightbreed.
Yeah.
Yep. They got a little program. Never got a chance to work with them.
Okay.
Never really we haven't had any conversations or anything like that.
Okay.
But I know they're a mainstay over there. So
Yeah.
again, if myself and Christian or myself and Trigger, they want us to come over there and work one of their top, teams,
Yeah.
we're happy to do that.
Nice. How about Davienne?
Davienne. Davie's great. She's one of the boys.
Yeah.
Anytime we hang out, it's literally like having another guy with us.
Right.
She's just one of the guys. I don't know how much she appreciates that, but we don't hold anything back. We
Right.
talk just like she was another dude in the room with us. But yeah, she's one of the boys. She's great. She can go toe to toe with any guy. She's tough as
Absolutely.
nails. I'm not ashamed to say I might be a little scared of her.
I think a lot of guys might be a little scared of her.
She's great, wicked, genuine person.
Nice.
Could never say anything negative about her.
All right. How about Brandon Locke?
Brandon Locke is cool. We both our sons have the same nickname, Juju. I always think that's cool when I see
nice.
him post about it, which is really cool. Brandon's cool, genuine dude. Every time I see him, guy's been around forever, but always just wicked down to earth, wicked
Right.
cool with us. I can imagine being in the industry for so long. You see so many people come and go.
Right.
So it's tough to get close to people like that, or even, if I was doing the same thing for 10, 15 years and I keep seeing new people come up to me at a time, I'd be like, ugh, Like another new, like, okay, cool. Like
Right.
you'll be out of here soon, kid. Like so, and he's always just so nice to everyone and so genuine to everyone. So yeah,
It was so great when he came back because he had left the business to do that
Yeah.
bodybuilding
Yep.
thing, and he got himself in like that
was doing
bodybuilding
great.
shape. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
He was doing great. Wicked
then when he-
disciplined.
Yeah. And then when he came back to wrestling, he went back to the wrestling shape.
Yep.
Really, really, really impressive. That's all I can say. How about Julian Starr?
I love Julian. He's one
He
of
does
the,
a lot of training too,
yeah,
right? He helps
yeah,
out
he
the
does. He
school.
helps out the school. He's there one day a week usually. Julian's wicked, genuine guy. Doesn't care what anyone thinks. Very blunt, which I love that.
Yeah.
In an industry where so many people can talk behind your back, everyone's trying to get to the next level.
Yeah.
He's a guy that you never have to worry about that. You know, if he doesn't like you, you know he doesn't like you. If he has something to say, he's going to say it to you.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need that.
Yeah.
And that's also Fury's very similar in that sense, where those are guys that they're going to tell you what you're doing wrong to help you get better.
Right.
So he's definitely someone I send messages to. When I see him, I ask him stuff. I throw ideas off him all the time. And, he got his podcast with Tarzan really good.
Yeah.
So I always enjoy listening to that as well. But yeah, he's great. He's definitely someone I turn to for help. And I think everyone said it. I hope he comes back. Whatever.
I'd love to see him come back.
But I think just even in his heyday when he was going, he's one of the greatest workers around. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. How about the voice of New England and chaotic wrestling, Mr. Rich Palladino?
Rich shouldn't be here anymore. I mean, he should be gone. Yeah, he should be gone. I don't have any. I mean, Rich is great. Rich came up with introducing us as representing that Killanova culture.
Right.
He just shot on us one day, and then after he said, "I hope you guys don't mind that." And I'm like, it fits perfect. Now
Yeah.
we tell everyone to say it that way.
Yep.
But Rich is great. He should be announcing for bigger places.
Right.
I know he's working like 300 dates this year. It's something ridiculous.
It's crazy, yeah.
He's everywhere. But in general, I think he could be, with WWE or
easily.
ROH or any of these places full time.
Yeah, no, he's fantastic. How about Jamie J. Mikowski?
Me and Jamie have only crossed paths a couple times.
Okay.
I worked for him a few times during my first stint when I was coming up,
Yeah.
but we really didn't know each other. I was just another student coming
Okay.
up. I saw him at a show recently. We shook hands, said hello, but that's really it. I listened to his podcast. I'm really big on wrestling podcasts,
Yeah.
and I listened to him talk about how he runs the business.
Yeah.
I can't share any of the sentiments anyone else has with him, whether
Yeah.
they're like, I hate him and
Right,
he's this
right.
and that, or I love him and he
Yeah.
was great. Like, I don't have an opinion either way. I just, from a business standpoint, I listen to the way he talks about the business, and he clearly knows what he was doing
And he's a
to
good
run a
businessman,
company that
too.
long. Yep.
Outside of wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
You know what
Oh,
I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Smart guy. Very smart guy.
Yep.
And I don't know him well. I'm just saying from listening to his podcast
Oh, yeah.
and seeing what he's done with Chaotic and his company, The Undercover Wear,
Yep.
used to be right next door to my girlfriend's company in Tewksbury.
cool, yep.
And I'll never forget one day I was there. I went outside to the back to smoke a cigarette, and all of a sudden I see everyone come out. There's Hanson, Malone, or something.
Yep.
Like, what the hell are they doing?
I think they all used to work for
Yeah,
him
they
too.
all work
I
for him.
used to take care of them
Yep.
and help them out.
All right, you brought his name up a couple times. Tarzan. Matt Spector.
It's funny. I like when people do Tarzan impressions. Tarzan is wicked cool. Every time I've seen him, we haven't seen each other much since I've come back.
Right.
He's not really around much,
Yep.
but before, he was at the school a lot more when he was a booker, trying to get an eye
Right.
on everyone. I had some good conversations with him then. When I talked to Malonis after his podcast, he was one of the people that were advocating to bring me in and
Right.
give me a shot there before I
Nice.
left. So yeah, and his booking was great. I loved what Chaotic was doing at that time, like being part of the school, but then also watching from like a security standpoint.
Yep.
You watch it two different ways. I'd watch it as a fan, but then also watch it as a worker to try
Yeah.
to learn. But some of the storyline stuff that they were running when he was booking was really good. So
Nice.
I'd
Yeah.
love to see him book somewhere, whether Chaotic was to bring him in and help with booking, or like he just went and did something somewhere. He's a really good booker.
Yeah, I first saw him wrestling for Jeff Costa's show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, years and years ago. Very talented in the ring, too. He really was. How about Tasha Steelz?
She's the best. She's the queen of the culture. She's someone, I feel the same way about Christian, but she's
Yeah.
definitely someone that is, her time in the Indies is probably limited.
Right.
I can't see her not being contracted at some point soon.
Right.
So, but she's
Didn't
great.
she just wrestle for Ring of Honor? too?
Yeah.
I was going to say.
Yeah, she's a mainstay
could've
over
swore I
there
saw
pretty
that.
much now
Nice.
at this
Oh,
point.
she's there all the time?
Yeah,
now?
she's there. Yeah, she was just in
That's
Toronto for,
excellent.
wrestling for the women's title there. So
Nice.
Yeah.
One of my favorite new guys coming around, CJ Cruz.
Me and CJ have worked together a few times, coming out of the school and stuff. Like, I always say he's like sneakily athletic.
Right.
You don't think that he's going to do some of the things he does. Really athletic kid. He's good. He got a passion for the business too.
Yeah.
So, and he's someone that he's very similar to like what I was saying about DL. He's always around and he's always helping.
And he's having a little bit of a thing at Let's Wrestle with another young kid, Alec Price.
Yeah, I saw they have a little.
They got good chemistry together. They wrestled at least 4 times, I think.
It's good to find someone that you can use as your contemporary and push each other and help get better.
I'm hoping to see them wrestle each other 10 years from now on a bigger stage.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. How about I don't really know this guy much. I only seen him a couple times, but CJ's tag team partner, Ricky Archer.
I love Ricky Archer.
Good look for a young kid.
That kid. I mean, I think he's like 19. Like he's built. His body's unbelievable for his age. Like it's crazy. He's just naturally athletic. He picks up on stuff really quick. I see him. He's at the school working hard every day. I go to the school. He's at the school working hard. I think he has a really, really bright future.
Nice. How about another youngster up and coming, Charlie Cashew?
Oh, he's nuts. Yeah, I like Cashew. He's wicked over with the fans. So
Huge.
I mean, I hate the name, but it gets over. So I mean,
somebody said something on Facebook the other day that he should come out with the Planters peanut.
Oh my gosh,
just would be funny. If somebody ever did that.
It would be good.
Sidney Bacabella.
I mean, wicked, like old school manager is what I could say. Old school manager. He plays to it perfectly. He's a heat magnet. It's crazy.
When he was here,
it's so easy.
When I interviewed him here, he was in the 70s.
Yeah.
And I was in the present day. And it
so
was
easy.
So hot.
I love the stuff. He pops me with some of the stuff he says. I'm just oh my gosh.
So much knowledge, too, for the business. I'm going to do one more name, and then I want you to plug some stuff. How about Scotty Slade?
Scotty Slade's the best, wicked, genuine guy. Always into helping out the young kids, or I'm not even a young kid anymore, but always willing to give word of advice, and he's someone you can always turn to.
You want to plug any matches coming up?
Yeah, we got this weekend, this Sunday, out in East Hampton, doing Western Mass Wrestling. Myself versus Nick Delta. Casanova will be there. Trigger the OG will be there. And then August 30th, Summer Chaos, Haverhill High School.
Nice.
I'll
be at that show.
Going to defend this bad boy right here against Bear Country. Casanova's going to go take that belt back from AG, and Tasha's going to reign supreme, as always, against Alicia Edwards. So
nice.
We're going for the clean sweep.
Nice. You want to plug the fantasy camp real quick? For
absolutely. Fantasy camp's August 31st. Come down to New England Pro Wrestling Academy, about 10 to 2, 10 to 3 o'clock. Going to be a great time. Look forward to seeing anyone new.
Yeah, you guys got to check that out, man. Brian does a great thing with that. He really does. Royce, man, thanks for coming on again. We'll do this again.
All right. Culture by the culture.
All right. Peace.